Hi, welcome back. We're going to continue with the Course in Miracles Manual for Teachers. So just keep in mind that this book does trigger a lot of people. I've seen it before. It's happened to me. And in fact, I don't know if I've heard of anyone who's actually read this that hasn't been triggered. So enter at your own risk. Join at your own risk. And know that this is all for our awakening. You know, all of the triggers that have come up for me in the duration that I've gone through the book and gone through the workbook, the lessons, they're exactly what was needed for me. And again, this isn't a set course. Everyone's curriculum is different. Everyone's going to be triggered at different places. Everyone is going to have resistance at different places and points and different messages. It all just depends on how your mind is structured and how open it is to really accept these teachings. The Course itself does address the fact that we're actually afraid of love. But we're going to get there when we get there, because we're starting with the Manual for Teachers. And I should mention that why I say that I don't want to be a teacher, or I don't want to teach this, is my associations with the word teacher and what that means. Because to me that implies that I know more. It's just my own human definition and perception of what being a teacher means, and the associations that not just me, but that other people put on the role or the title of teacher. And so I'm just clarifying that if I'm teaching this, it's because I'm a student. And again, going back to what the Course says, that teacher and student are interchangeable or are the same. That's the point for me, is to not delude myself into thinking that I'm not a student. Okay, so let's go ahead and read part 1. Who are God's teachers? So the introduction does mention God's teachers, that except for God's teachers, there would be little hope for salvation. And this is a manual for the teachers of God. So part 1 here is actually addressing who are God's teachers. A teacher of God is anyone who chooses to be one. His qualifications consist solely in this: somehow, somewhere, he has made a deliberate choice in which he did not see his interests as apart from someone else's. Once he has done that, his road is established and his direction is sure. A light has entered the darkness. It may be a single light, but that is enough. He has entered an agreement with God, even if he does not yet believe in him. He has become a bringer of salvation. He has become a teacher of God. I find that fascinating, that he has entered an agreement with God, even if he does not yet believe in him. And there have been people who don't believe in God, or don't believe in this course, or don't believe in how it was channeled. And I believe even Helen Schucman herself, who was the one that was the scribe of this, said that she didn't believe it, but it worked. And so this here is basically saying that it's really about the willingness, whether or not you believe in God. That's amazing. Okay, moving on. They come from all over the world. They come from all religions and from no religion. They are the ones who have answered. The call is universal. It goes on all the time everywhere. It calls for teachers to speak for it and redeem the world. Many hear it, but few will answer. Yet it is all a matter of time. Everyone will answer in the end, but the end can be a long, long way off. It is because of this that the plan of the teachers was established. Their function is to save time. Each one begins as a single light, but with the call at its center, it is a light that cannot be limited, and each one saves 1,000 years of time as the world judges it. To the call itself, time has no meaning. I'm a fan of efficiency. I like when things are efficient, and this kind of sums it up. To me, this is one of the most efficient tools for really clearing your mind. And this part of the text refers a lot about time and saving thousands of years. And the Course does talk about time, because to the call itself, time has no meaning. And again, all these concepts of time, the call, being a teacher, the end, the world, these things will become more clear. And I do believe that the more inner work that you do on yourself, the more time that you save. All right, so let's continue. There is a course for every teacher of God. The form of the course varies greatly. So do the particular teaching aids involved. But the content of the course never changes. Its central theme is always, God's Son is guiltless, and in his innocence is his salvation. It can be taught by actions or thoughts, in words or soundlessly, in any language or in no language, in any place or time or manner. It does not matter who the teacher was before he heard the call. He has become a savior by his answering. He has seen someone else as himself. He has therefore found his own salvation and the salvation of the world. In his rebirth is the world reborn. And so in this sense, yeah, I'll accept being a teacher of God. And I believe if you're here listening to this, you probably are as well. You've probably heard the call. But just to know that there is a course for every teacher of God. Your course, your curriculum, whatever is meant to come into your path is going to be completely unique to you. And to know, when this says a course, it says its central theme is always God's Son is guiltless, and in his innocence is his salvation. And when we go deeper into the text, we're going to see that guilt is one of the foundational aspects of the course, and essentially is what keeps us in this world, is this guilt. I'm not going to go deep into it right now, but to just remember that line, God's Son is guiltless, and in his innocence is his salvation. So whatever path you take, whatever course that you need to take, knowing that we're all ending up at the same place, it revolves around this aspect that in his innocence is his salvation. To really know what original innocence is, and to know that that's what we are. Completely innocent, guiltless. And if you can truly accept that all the time, then your work is done. But to me, this course, this whole book, is basically a book of undoing guilt, undoing the ego's grip, and to surrender into that innocence, the purity that we are. This is a manual for a special curriculum intended for teachers of a special form of the universal course. There are many thousands of other forms, all with the same outcome. They merely save time. Yet it is time alone that winds on wearily, and the world is very tired now. It is old and worn and without hope. There was never a question of outcome, for what can change the will of God? But time, with its illusions of change and death, wears out the world and all things in it. Yet time has an ending, and it is this that the teachers of God are appointed to bring about, for time is in their hands. Such was their choice, and it is given them. Whew. So, this is a manual for a special curriculum intended for teachers of a special form of the universal course. So, in my understanding, the universal course is the return to God, the return to love, the course of getting from where we perceive that we are in this world to being one with God. That is the course. And if you imagine a sort of point A to point B, it sounds simple, but in practice, in our realities, each of our courses might be a little more winding or roundabout. But either way, we all end up at the same place. And so it's just a matter of how much time do you want to take to get there, to get back. And this phrase here, yet it is time alone that winds on wearily, and the world is very tired now. And when I feel that, when I feel into the world is very tired, I hear people crying. I hear people just tired of this world of ups and downs and duality, of strife and war and needing to defend, arguing, fighting, taking sides. The world is tired. And I've also had moments in, say, plant medicine ceremonies where I'll be really deep in the experience and I just feel tired. And when I really tune into that feeling of being tired, I'm tired of the thoughts. I'm tired of the constant thinking and judging and trying to figure things out and trying to solve this puzzle of what this whole world is about and why I'm here and what to do about it. And the only remedy or the only answer to it is really just to surrender in God. And it's sometimes the feeling that we have all this burden, that we have so much that we are responsible for in the world, responsible for our families. We're responsible for people, whole populations, for our country. We're responsible for our work and our jobs. And it can just feel like a really large onus. But we don't need to carry it. If we can hand it over, if we can do our work here, which in a way is very simple, getting from point A to point B. It's only as hard as we want to make it. So I'm going to read this line again because I think it's so good. But time, with its illusions of change and death, wears out the world and all things in it. Yet time has an ending, and it is this that the teachers of God are appointed to bring about. The end of time. And the end of time, what does that mean? That can mean the timelessness, the eternal, the infinite. When you're in the world of time, when you have time, when you're in time, when you're living with time, there's the past and there's the future. And it's basically evading everything but the present. That's what time is. And so time has an ending. Time is in their hands. And so ending time would be fully accepting the infinite of the present moment. Fully. And then it says, such was their choice, and it is given them. When people talk about free will, sometimes people interpret that as meaning in this world you have the choice of going, say, down this road or that road. And the way that I've learned about free will is actually that we have the choice of choosing the present or not. We have the free will to choose God or not. That's what free will is really about. And that's what it's saying here. Time is in their hands. Such was their choice, and it is given them. Meaning, it was our choice to believe in time, to believe in something other than the infinite, something other than God. We had the free will to choose that. But we also have the free will to choose again, to choose back to God, to presence, to timelessness. And how do we do that? Well, forgive. Forgive ourselves for believing that we sinned, because we've never really left God. We just have perceived that, and we've perceived that we've created this sort of a hell of a world and universe. But it's all illusory. And we're all starting to wake up and remember, oh, right. We created this. We created this dream. And we have the ability to take as long as we want, or as quick as we would like the journey back to be. So that's all. Manual for Teachers, Part 1. For me, I've read through the Manual for Teachers several times. I remember the first time that I read it after I had already gone through the text and through the workbook, and I was just so excited to get to the Manual for Teachers. Because I was like, all right, now I get to take all of this stuff that I've learned, and now I'll know what to do with it. But reading it now, this time around, I see it very differently. And I see it more like just a continuation of the same the same process of choosing again, choosing again, choosing again to choose God. And if you're in the position of being a teacher and wanting to be a teacher of God, you're ready for that. But at the same time, if you're still here, then you still fully believe that this is real and that you still have work to do. Which I do. I perceive that. And I can let go of that too. So that's all for now. Thanks for joining.